guys, it's TT here, and I'm here to show you guys a replay from the other day with a matchup against Shadal's. I promised a video, and it has some tips in it and a lot of things you should be looking for when you're dueling outside of just playing Salamangreats, but also when you're playing Salamangreats in general. So let's just jump right into it. So I end up going first. I win the rock paper scissors, I believe. Oh no! I'm going second. That's right. He won the rock paper scissors. Now the first thing that you can't really do anything about, you won't know until it's too late. But I didn't even really notice this. But the first thing he's gonna do, he's gonna set Shadal Beast from his hand without any tributes. You can see his hand is not that good. My hand is pretty good, really good actually. But he's getting ready to go Shadal Beast without tributing. Shadal Beast is level 5, needs tribute. He's not about to do that. It's one of the things that you just can't get past on a duel book. So the first thing he does is sets the Shadal Beast, so he's going to set a Paleozoic Meniscus and a Super Poly in this turn. Alright, so we got some illegal play there, but it's no big thing for your boy. So he goes, or I go for I go for the Salamangreat Circle, obviously in the draw phase. So that's another thing. Always go for your Salamangreat circles in the draw phase. In the game 2, I 2-0'd this guy, but in game 2, I go for Salamangreat Circle in the standby phase on the first turn of turn of my turn of the duel, and he had Droll and Lockbird in his hand, so I had to pay by losing out the Droll and Lockbird for that turn. But not that it affects his deck really that much, but at the same time it does because I had a Flame Buff for real. You'll see when it gets there. But basically, always use Circle in the draw phase. So I go Circle, Zell. And basically, I'm just all like, this is looking like an OTK. He's going to need some pretty powerful trap cards to stop me, which he has. So, but the first thing I'm thinking is I'm going to go for consistency and an OTK. So, that's what you always want to think with salads. You want to get your consistent part out the way, and then if you can, which I can because I have Parallel Exceed, extend into the OTK. So, what I mean by that is you always want to set up your Sunlight Wolf. You know, you want to get back your trap. You know what I mean. You want to get back. In this case, it could be a spell. It depends on what I want to send with my Gazelle. But you know, use your Jaguar. Get back your Gazelle. You always want to do all those things first with salads. Then, you know, boom, Parallel Exceeds. You know, on that resummon of your Sunlight Wolf, and then bam, you know, OTK time. So yeah, I basically start doing that, you know, summon Gazelle, summon Parallel Disease, right? No, that's another thing. So this extends past Salamangreats, but also is Salamangreats. Apparently there's a rule where you cannot use these two cards at the same time. Not just particularly these two, but their effects. You can't special summon from your hand 2 monsters. You can't do that. You just can't. Like, special summon this card to zone monster points to from your hand. You know, you just can't use 2 monsters that do that special summon from your hand. You only can pick one or the other. If you ask around, some people know it, some people don't. But for the people who do, they're gonna be like, you can't summon these 2 at the exact same time. Now, this also goes to say that you don't want to summon these 2 at the same time. I did this, 1, because I don't care for this rule, so if you don't know it, I'm just going to do it. But 2, you don't want to do this. Also, don't do what I did and summon these 2, because you just played into Nibiru. Let's say he had Nibiru in his hand, and I just played into it heavily, and now I don't have a fallback. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't have anything that I can link into or anything like that, because I just Parallel Exceed early. Well, I shouldn't have done that, basically. So not as what I do and learn from my mistakes. You don't want to use the Parallel Exceeds early. You want to use it how I explained previously, which is basically after everything is said and done. After you got your Gazelle back, now you relinked, you know what I mean, and you got your whatever on the field, and you got a Balinks in the graveyard, all that stuff. Once all that stuff's done, boom, Parallel Disease, boom, Access Code Talker, game over. That's how you want to do it. But so I go to use both these effects, Parallel Disease, Gazelle, and Balinks, 3 chain link combo, whatever. But there's no reason why you can't use 2 Honestly, there is no reason other than someone back in the day was salty about Trajodia and what's the other card called? Trajodia and Gores. Yeah, those were the reasons why this rule was put in place. I guess people back then it was just broken to summon two monsters from your hand, but it's just like it really wasn't. It's just it was just an interaction that could happen in the game. If you attack me and I got these two, I got Battle Fader, Gores, and whatever in my hand. You know what I mean? Like why can't I summon all of these cards? Like you attack. That's why they made them. It's a combo. It's just a battle phase trick, but you can't do that, and that's just how it is. You can't summon more than one monster from your hand that has effects that you just can't, but you can. So I mean, if you do this against other people, you're not going to see me shaking my head in disapproval. You'll be all like, this should be allowed because there's no reason why. So I get those three effects. Uh, Parallel Z is going to summon in one. I get the Sanctuary. Send one with so send. I chose Jaguar because I already had Roar and I needed him in the graveyard because I didn't have anything like Will of the Salamangreats. So boom, go for Sunlight Wolf. Sunlight Wolf. I accidentally clicked Sunlight Wolf's thingy, so I don't know why. But the next thing I do is Jaguar. Jaguar is gonna add back one, but he's just like, nah, let me change it, Jaguar. So I was like, sure. And he uses Dynamiscus. So it was a little late, but I'm more of a, if this was in real life, you probably would have used this optimally. And we're on a game, and I'm trying to, kind of play a little bit quicker. So whatever. So I was just like, go for it, And he's like, nah, I want to Dynamiscus your Sunlight Wolf. I'm like, sure. So he sends, and I'm just like, let me think. It's like boom, Salamangreat Balinx, boom, Splash Mage. I was gonna go for the Jaguar you see in the chat, but you only can use Jaguar once, and I used it, but its effect just fizzled. So yeah, can't use it again. Splash Mage, you can bring back any of my Cyberus monsters. I picked him, Jaguar, link those into transcode. Transcode brings back. The reason why I picked transcode to go into right now is because you want more targets for the access code talker, because I can automate access code talker without doing transcode, honestly, but at least I think I can. I think I could have, but regardless, you always want to pretty much go transcode because it gives you more. So yeah, go trans, boom, into access pops. So he could have used super poly, but technically he couldn't have because he had the Shadal beast on the field. But technically, he couldn't have used Super Poly because let's say he would have played it right, he wouldn't have had any monsters to use Super Poly for because Super Poly uses cards on the field, not in your hand. So you play it, or Fusion monsters in your field as fusion materials. Boom, just field. So, not hand. But, so he wouldn't have been able to do that. But, so he basically didn't like super cheat. He could have super cheated and super polyed my access code talker, and he would have got a draw, but he chose not to, and just let me, pop it for the draw. Goes the beast effect. I'm just over here like, didn't even notice it. I'm all like, you can't play beast, but I didn't notice it because I'm just over here like, this guy's gonna get walked. So takes 5300. He summons, boom. Now he's like, I could validly activate Super Poly, and that's fine. I didn't notice until after watching this back, and this is like my third time recording this, trying to make this not super long. We're already 9 minutes deep, and we're still in game 1. So yeah, he goes for the window, adds off of Shadal Hedgehog, attacks me directly. That's cool. Now I'm kind of window locked, so I go for some plays. I go for the Flame Buffalo. Why Flame Buffalo is because, one, let's say I would have summoned Foxy. I would have got this, but now I get something else also. See what I'm saying? Like, I can, Foxy reveals 3, get 1, or I could Flame Buffalo and see 2 of those 3 and just get 2 of them. See what I'm saying? And set up in the graveyard. So, and to my luck, I got Spinny, and I got Will the Salamangreat. So let's say I would have Foxy, I would have revealed these 2. I only could pick 1. So I would have pretty much had to pick Spinny because it was the only way that I could have summoned something back in order to get over window. But because I used what's his name? Buffalo. Boom. Now I got two. So yeah, it's just Buffalo's really nice, and all you got to do to get over Wind Death with this deck is just attack over it. So yeah, so what I'm gonna do. He goes for the Shaddoll Fusion. I just set Salamangreat Roar, perfect counter. You know, I was just all like, in case he has some BS, boom, had the BS, top decked it, because you can always just rest assured they're gonna top deck this card when they need it on here, and he did. So he's like, oh, can I use the Paleozoic card? And I'm just like, nah, you can't spell speed 3. He's just all like, but after, I'm just like, nah, it's a win. You gotta do it like when I use a trap card. So you gotta chain to it basically, and you can't chain to a spell speed 3. So that's that conversation. Just for the attack, I use Balinks in the graveyard to save my Balinks. He sets his Windy. I'm just all like, for sure. And even though now that I think about it, I don't think he could have did that, but oh yeah, he could have. That's right. He summoned Hedgehog last turn. So now I'm in basically the perfect position to get over him. I'm gonna just simply summon my Foxy. Foxy's getting ready to search me to look at 3. Then I can use Spinny to make, or then I can link them off for my 1 summon into Sunlight Wolf. Use Spinny to make Sunlight Wolf 2300 so I can get over this window. Boom, I got Salamangreat Rage, even better. So I linked him off. Boom, Sunlight Wolf. Dump the Spinny, get over him by 100. He gets his fusion back, that's fine. Now I can link off my Sunlight Wolf and I can give my Roar so to negate the fusion once again. Then I just proceed to combo off. Get back my Gazelle. You know, now I have major card advantage and I've got cards on the field on him, you know what I mean? Oh, he's got Shaddoll Fusion and a top deck and a Windy, so it's not looking good for him. Especially because when he flips the Windy, oh, he'll be able to do something. Oh, no, he won't be able to do anything. It's from the deck? Oh, yeah, from the deck. So, yeah, he'll be able to do something, but it's just not looking good for him. Because now I go build a Salamangreat, summon back another, whatever that is, Jaguar, stack them, boom, it's good in defense mode. And Baguska won't affect you because you can't put links in defense mode. So it's pretty much game from here. Because even if, let's say I couldn't negate this, you know, it would have just been negated because of Baguska. So, it's simple. But, so yeah, I mean, even though he could, you know, send things, but whatever. So the first thing he does is he goes for the Windy, automatically negated because of Baguska. That was a misplay by him. And then he goes for his Meltdown to go for Alistair. I hit him with the Rage because Rage, you know, obviously will basically negate this, and he won't be able to get any of these effects off. He's like, oh, I'm gonna use my Paleo's effect, and I'm like, cool, Resolve, pop those 2, and he's like, sure, no search for Alistair. He goes for his Shaddoll Fusion. I hit him with the Shaddoll Roar. Damn. So that's that game. Going to game 2, I side in the Twin Twisters. I side in the Forbidden Chalices. You know, I side in basically to help me with this matchup. And I believe he goes first again. And what do you know? I top deck pretty well. I'm able to. I got a pretty much a for sure Gazelle, or a card to combo with Buffalo very well because you don't always need Gazelle, and this is one of those situations to where you really don't need Gazelle. You'd want it, but using Gazelle over Buffalo using Gazelle will only put 1 card in the graveyard, and it will just be like a tough time playing. So like you would send something, then you link it off. Right now, how are you gonna like make the next link monster? You know what I mean? Because you'd have to send Jaguar, right? And then Jaguar would have to bring itself back by putting back your Sunlight Wolf, or you'd have to, you know, play down your field spell. Field spell will send your Balinks, and it's just not good. So yeah, basically you really don't want to get Gazelle right now. Like right now, you don't really need to see him. So yeah, so he goes first. He sets the Shaddoll Hedgehog. I have no idea what that was in the actual moment. So this is where it comes up to where I told you guys I go standby phase, and I didn't, what's it called? I should have did this in the draw phase, but I realized standby phase. It's just all like, oh, look at that, I forgot draw. But I'm just all like, well, isn't that freaking game? So I go for my Church Jaguar. I'm like, it's not gonna stop this Buffalo, but it actually will. But it didn't matter because now I'm just gonna use Jaguar to go for the combos, obviously, right? Right. So Jack Jaguar, I was saying something to him in chat where it's just so like, let's just basically pretend that I was in the draw phase. And he's just like, nah. So I was like, for sure. And so yeah, I played the chat, used the will, get it back, link them off. Then I go, Jack Jaguar, put that back. No effect there. Link those off. Looks to get back. So as I attacked him, I knew that he was going to get fusion. I just knew it was supposed to be headshot. Set it. Goes hedge. Adds. I'm like, well. So this one I'm just all like, okay. So I knew he was going to get fusion, but I got Ash Blossom. So when he activates fusion, I was going to Ash it. Top decks, Call by the Grave. Didn't see that coming. So he goes ahead and plays a Shadow Fusion. I counter it with the Ash Blossom. He counters Ash Blossom with the Call by. Now it's just like GG dang near. Goes ahead and sends his. Does little combos here. Some aerial. Sends the Resh. Gets back his fusion. Resh, flip it up. Summon back his construct. I thought that he banished my cards, but no, it summons it back. Sends his Schism. Save myself. So this was an interaction that was interesting. When he attacked with Shadal Construct, he was supposed to blow my guy up, right? But then I saved myself from that destruction. Now the battle goes through, and you see what I'm saying? I should have basically killed my Sunlight Wolf, is what I've come to later realize. Is I think Sunlight Wolf should have died. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that because I survived the effect, the battle goes through, and you know, like now, because it's in damage step, the battle goes through, and I take damage, and my monster dies. So I'm thinking my monster should have died here. He basically would have been able to attack for 1,000 there. Then he would have been able to El Shaddai fusion into this window. So I would have lost like 3,200 extra. In total would have been 4,200, I guess. But that's basically not what we played. And he attacked into there, and he didn't attack with aerial. He said Schism, and now I'm in a good position. Oh, I'm in a bad position, but I'm in a good position, as you can see, because one, I have Twin Twisters, so I can use this before the main phase happens, and then I also have Forbidden Chalice, and I also have my Salamangreat Circle. So I'm like, okay, I can make my Flame Buffalo alive, I can take out this, and I can take out this. So I'm in a good position. I didn't know he had Ash Blossom though. So, boom, Salamangreat Circle, hits him with the Ash Blossom. I'm just over here like, oh, okay, that's fine. Because here's why it's fine. Called by the Grave. So all the good players would have known that. But for me, in the actual duel, I knew it. I was just like, he's like, declares Ash Blossom. I was like, cool. Like, Sir Spinny. And he's just over here like, Ash. And I'm just all like, standby phase. And then I'm just all like, in case you're wondering like why I just searched, I'm like, you used Call by the Grave. And we go ahead and read that real quick. It negates, you know, to the next turn. So the end of the next turn, boom, the effects are negated of that monster. So you negated my Ash Blossom. So that means during my turn, his Ash Blossoms don't work. So that's freaking sick. So I go for the Salamangreat Spinny out. I'm just all like, this duel's over. So I begin the combo. No, I don't begin the combo actually. I begin to Twin Twister him. Twin Twister, discarding my Silent Mining because I didn't need that anymore. And I mean, you could argue that I did need it, but I didn't need it anymore. So go for the Schism. Now he's just like, oh, I'm gonna activate the Schism. Can't, bro. You know, it's a standby phase. That has to be during the main phase. So yeah, we talk about Schism for a second. Get rid of that. He was a little pissed probably. And then Forbidden Chalice on his window. Now it's just over here like, okay, yeah, you got 2,600 window, but it has no effects. Sick. So, and then I was just like, unless you got Nibiru, it's a good game. But, and as we can see, he not Nibiru. But in the moment, obviously, I don't know if he has Nibiru. So, what I did was I played optimally. I played optimally. So, I go for the Flame Buffalo. Use buff. Use bail. Buff sends that. Get the draw 2. Not that great. Use will. Get back the what's it called? Boom. So, oh no, I didn't play optimally. That's right, I didn't play optimally. See, now I'm seeing this happen. I'm all like, where's the optimal play? So the optimal play here would have been, if I'm gonna risk it for Nibiru, I need to have backup. And that's not what I did. I could have got Nibiru and I wouldn't have had backup. So what I'm telling you guys to do is to go for game, but have a backup plan. The backup plan, because I would have used my Will of Salamangreat, what is not very good, but at least it's something. It's some sort of follow-up. So here's the follow-up, which would have been, okay, we use Will of Salamangreat to get back our Spinny. Then we use Spinny and Balinks to, what's it called, to link off for Sunlight Wolf. Then we would have used Spinny's effect or Jack Jaguar's effect. It would have been Jack Jaguar's effect to put back this Sunlight Wolf. Boom, summon them underneath Sunlight Wolf. Sunlight Wolf would have got his effect and would have got you back this Buffalo in your hand. You at least would have had the Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? And then you could have used Spinny's effect, brought back Spinny. It would have been this exact same field again, except this would have been a Sunlight Wolf, and you would have had a Buffalo in your hand. That would have been the difference. But that's not what I did. As you can see, I just summoned those back, and then I just combo. Let's just all like, update, trans, update, and then update, trans, access, chainlink 1 chainlink 1 update, chainlink 2 access. Boom, you can't respond. I just saw like, let's get rid of that. He was like, cool, let me get the effects. It's like, I'm gonna add back this fusion. I'm like, cool, get rid of the Shadar, and blah 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 blah, and bam, game over. He leaves, I leave, duel's over. So, what to take away from this duel? Don't let if your opponent sets a monster that that's illegal to play, basically, unless you don't feel like waiting for a judge, call them on it and be like, yo bro, that's a game loss, that's just deliberate cheating. And even if you didn't notice, it's just like, come on now, like, how you not gonna notice it's level 5, you just said it, that's straight cheating. So, you shouldn't have had a field, your Super Poly shouldn't have been live, or possible to even be used, yada yada yada. So, don't let them do that. Use your Salamangreat Circle in your draw phase, always. Don't let it slip your mind. Always use it in the draw phase. And then also play optimally with Salamangreats. So what I mean by play optimally is optimal play with Salamangreats is conservative play. You can pop off for some big stuff, but the best way that wins you games, like 9 times out of 10, is you playing conservatively. You making a Sunlight Wolf, you getting your Gazelle back in your hand, you know what I mean? You setting a trap card, you getting back a trap card, playing the solid deck. That is what usually wins you the game, because the grind is so recursive. You don't really lose anything. So it's just like, but you kind of gain like a card like every turn, so a card or 2 every turn. So playing this, and it doesn't really go away until you go for the access code, which is like, game is over now. I've depleted the resources. I know they don't have a way to counter this. Boom. I kind of took the risk right now, but I had a feeling he couldn't counter it. So because it was just like, you just sending the mirror from your deck, and I don't know. It just felt like it. But your feeling can be wrong. So that's why you always want to play optimally. And then also you want to pay attention to lingering effects like Call by the Grave. Means where that your opponent, so for example, it's another card that's like that, Dogmatic Punishment. Your opponent sometimes will try to punishment you and then realize that they can't, what's it like on your turn, and then the next turn they might want to go into the extra deck. And this deck, Shadal, is a culprit of this. Well, they'll hit you with Dogmatic Punishment, and then on their turn they're gonna try to go into the extra deck. No. It's the same basic wording as Call by the Grave. You can't use the extra deck until my turn comes back around, which is the end of the next turn, basically. So yeah, pay attention for things like that. Play optimally. Use your will. And then that's right. Use your Salamangreat Circle, and this also should tell you why Will is such a powerful card, because it's just so powerful. Because it extends you. It just keeps you going. Like, even so, you got your parallel Z's. It keeps keep you extending. You got just the nature of Salamangreats in general, but then you also got Will, which is just a free summon some guys back. You know what I mean? It's got the second effect. Boom, summon some more back, not just one. Doesn't target. It's a good card. Just a good card. Super good card at that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. TT Herald signing out. Like, comment, rate, subscribe. Rate. There's no rating anymore. Like, comment, subscribe. All that good stuff. Team Trust outros. And see you guys next video. And this was a long one, so sorry about that.